আমাকে প্রিন্ট চাইছেন, আমাকে একটা তাহলে প্রিন্টারও দিন। বলে হবে হবে, এই যে ঠিক আছে হোক। তো এই কেস, তো সেদিন অনেকগুলো কাজ হয়েছে। তারপরে ভিসি স্যারের সঙ্গে
অনেকক্ষণ মিটিং হয়েছে,
অনেকক্ষণ ছিলাম আমরা এবং অনেক কাজ হলো এফেক্টিভলি।
না আসলে ভিসি স্যারও সেদিন বলছিলেন, মানে পয়রা স্যার, যে তোমরা মাঝে মাঝে এসে, মানে আমাদের তো যেতে কোনো ইয়ে নেই, গিয়ে তাহলে
আমি যেতে পারবো হরিণঘাটাতে, আমার পক্ষে যাওয়াটা কোনো সমস্যা নয় আর কি।
সেদিনকে ওই ভদ্রলোক এসেছিলেন, ডক্টর
নীলাদ্রি চক্রবর্তী, হ্যাঁ আমাদের নিউ ফ্যাকাল্টি। ও ওখানে টাইম টু টাইম যেতে হবে। গুড মর্নিং স্যার।
গুড মর্নিং।
স্যার গুড মর্নিং স্যার।
মর্নিং।
এই সেদিন আমরা যে থার্সডেতে গেছিলাম সেটা বলছিলাম ডেসক্রিপশনে, আমাদের ওখানে অনেকগুলো কাজ হয়েছে একই সঙ্গে, যে রেজিস্ট্রার স্যার ছিলেন, ভিসি স্যার ছিলেন। স্যার
তো আপনার একদম ওই বাড়িতে বসে থাকবো আর বেরোবো না, এই
না আমার খুবই ভালো লাগছে। আর অনেকগুলো কাজ পেন্ডিং ছিল, আপনার সবাইকে পেয়ে যাওয়াতে খুব সুবিধা হয়েছে। তাহলে শুধু মেসেজ পাঠিয়ে,
সেটাই বলছি, যেটা আমাদের ডিজিটালটা চলছে, আর যখন দরকার তখন যেতে হবে। একেবারে
যেতেই হবে,
জেদ করে ঘরে বসে থাকলে হবে না।
একদম একদম মাঝে মাঝে এখন যাওয়া দরকার।
সেগুলো
চলবে কি করে? সবাই যদি ঘরে বসে থাকে চলবে কি করে? আমরা তো যাচ্ছি মাঝে মধ্যে। এই তো ইন্দ্রনীল গিয়েছিল সেদিন।
হ্যাঁ সেদিন গেল, সব ভালো হয়েছে। আমরা তো ভালোই আছে। আর আমাদের ইকুইপমেন্টস গুলো তো স্যার এসে যাচ্ছে এই মাসের মধ্যে, তো আমাদের ওখানে গিয়ে থেকে ওগুলো করতে হবে। আর আমাদের
1 নম্বর 2 নম্বর হচ্ছে আরেকটা বলেছি, পাশে ওই হেমনলিনী কলেজে ওরা কথাবার্তা বলতে যাচ্ছে। ওখানে ফুড টেকনোলজি বিশাল ল্যাবরেটরি আছে, সেইটাকে যতদিন আপনার এখানে ইনস্টলেশন না হয় ওখানে ইউজ করা যায় কিনা সেটাও দেখুন।
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে। Sir, let us start. I just introduce Munjira Kaur. This is our new speaker. She is going to speak on today's on the subject entrepreneurship and business management in the context of food sector. Now I should introduce. She is a result-driven professional with industrial experience of 6 years and academic experience of more than 6 years. She did her BSc in physics from Ferguson College, University of Pune, and then completed 1-year postgraduate diploma from Mumbai and specialized in advertising and marketing in 2004. Completed Master of Business Administration from ICFAI Business School, Gurgaon, ICFAI University of Dehradun, specializing in marketing in 2009. She has got also industrial experience, worked in marketing in Tata Teleservices Limited for 1 year. She provided services for 3 years in various marketing communication firms in Mumbai, handled accounts for various market development projects for startups in Mumbai and Kolkata for 2 years. As her academic experience, she has worked as a cultural coordinator and teacher in Sri Aurobindo Institute of Culture for 1 year. Worked as a part-time lecturer in Bengal Engineering College, took classes for MBA program for 3 months. She was the principal of a school for more than 4 years. She is presently teaching in JIC University since October 2020.
Which university? JIS?
JIS University. JIS. So she is also, she got a family business running a school in Durgapur. So her mother is doing that job. So this is about the short description about Munjira Kaur. Now today's topics is entrepreneurship and business management in the context of food sector. I just give you the brief about in the present context, when the world fights out the repercussions of a pandemic, and when the government cries out Atma Nirbhar Varno, it is but natural that there is a general shift to the whole scenario of work culture. Today, more and more entrepreneurs are brewing up, and the success rate cannot be disregarded. The government has encouraged entrepreneurs by announcing a huge fund of ₹1 trillion fund to set up facilities to procure a move which would improve the value realized by the farmers. Today's lecture would take a sneak peek into the entrepreneurship management and look at a couple of such entrepreneurs who have made it through the pandemic and how they view the growth of strategies. That is the case studies. Now I request Professor Soikat Moitra, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, to inaugurate the program. Today's program, sir.
আচ্ছা, সে তো ঠিক আছে, কিন্তু আপনার নীলাদ্রি চক্রবর্তী যে তাকে প্যানেলে রাখেননি কেন? নীলাদ্রি জয়েন করলো। ও তো এই তো এইমাত্র দেখলাম গুড মর্নিং দিল, ওকে প্যানেলে
হ্যাঁ।
কনভার্ট করে দিই।
হ্যাঁ, নেক্সট টাইম থেকে স্যার করাবে এই প্যানেলটা।
না না নেক্সট কেন,
এখনই
বাবা
করে
এখানে
দিন।
এখনই করে দিতে পারি,
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ,
ঠিক
প্রেম
আছে।
কুমারকে বলুন, ও করে দিচ্ছে এক্ষুনি।
হ্যাঁ, হ্যাঁ,
বলুন
প্রেম
নীলাদ্রি
কুমার,
চক্রবর্তী প্যানেলে
প্রেম
চলে
কুমার,
আসুক।
Prem Kumar, okay, Niladi has been added. He is our new faculty joined. He has got a long experience in industry as well as academics. For a long experience, last 12 years, he has been working in Holdia Institute of Technology. Before
Right,
that,
right.
he was working in different industries for 7 years, more than 7 years. So we worked together in the HIT Holdia in setting up the biotech laboratory and food technology laboratory. I'm happy to have people like Niladri in also in MAKAUT. So welcome Niladri. Today you are in the panel. Now I request Professor Shoikat Moito to give to inaugurate.
Mojira, তুমি কি ওখানে ফুড টেক, আর ইউ টিচিং ফুড টেকনোলজি দেয়ার আর জিআইএস?
No, sir, I'm teaching management there.
Management, okay, very good.
Thank you.
So this is a great opportunity for all of our students and participants to learn more about entrepreneurship in the sector of food technology. Now, this is going to be very important in coming years because what you are saying that because of this disruptive scenario and because of this technological advancement, the formats of all these activities are continuously changing. But one thing is sure and certain, that future will be for those people who will use their intelligence, knowledge for transforming or converting all these things, all these opportunities into economic proposition. And for that purpose, we need to inculcate more and more, these practices, and more, this our working cultures and systems towards developing a huge entrepreneurship, knowledge-based entrepreneurship, micro-entrepreneurship, and that is required in that sense, because in the near future, this formal, these job sectors, that will be not much effective. And at the same time, economy, the growth of economy will be there, but this will be not out of this these traditional exercises or traditional practices. And this mindset of entrepreneurship is very important for our students, because we have seen at other parts of the world, all these youngsters, many of these youngsters, I'm amazed to see that the brilliant idea they are generating, and they are trying to convert this idea into business. Maybe their first time or second time they are becoming a failure, but afterwards they're becoming, they are achieving success also. So that's why the applications of this your grit, determination, positive attitudes, and your spirit for transferring or converting your knowledge, your ideas into business, or that is now the challenging scenario for all of us. And for the young generation, you don't have any this dart of potential. You have enough this imagination, innovative ideas. Only thing, it needs to be channelized into this practical domain, so that it can be of business propositions, and if it can be converted to business scenario, then it is a win-win situation for all of us. You see, it creates employability. You can become employer then. At the same time, out of all our natural resources, or whatever resources we are having, we can make best utilization of all these things. Then we can this not only catering the need of our the society and country, we can supply it to other countries as well. And food technology is such a thing. This area, there are lots of potentials and opportunities in India. I've discussed in other occasions also. We have these plenties of these crops, vegetables, natural resources, and many bioresources, which can be this till now not yet been this fully utilized for economic transformation, for proper economic transformation. now with the advent of these many theories, many practices, many technologies, like this expansion of IT's expansion of this concept like digital marketing, packaging, processing, application of nanotechnology, applications of genetic engineering, gene mapping, all these things. These are going to impact our future business significantly and profoundly. And for that, this is the right time to get ourselves more enriched with the information, with the knowledge regarding entrepreneurships, regarding this right sort of skills and right sort of attitudes. And I believe that today Manjira Kaur, she is having background in food science and management, in both areas, I think.
No,
So
sir. She is having the management. She graduated in BSc in physics.
Physics and management.
afterwards,
Okay, so she is having this knowledge in. This is also required. You see, earlier the conception was different. We till now there are certain traditional this concept that we need to follow a certain track or path for our these applications in professional areas. Maybe a person of physics, he or she will continue in that area, and it is expected by the society that ultimately it will be a contribution towards physics. But now it is being said that I was reading a book that by this the joy of compounding. They are all the things, all the subjects, they are connected. And today it is the era of this theory of everything. So that means nothing is existing in isolation. All subjects has important contribution to another subjects. Therefore, you see, if you have varied experiences or varied these studies of different subjects, then it will give you better wisdom. And we have many these examples like this. I personally I like to read lots of these areas in other fields, and that gives me this enough inputs for thinking in a different way, for thinking out of the box. And that is required now. It is my advice to our students and participants also. Besides, your subject is always there. You have to study your subjects, but at the same time, take interest in other areas as well. Management now is required for every for each and every areas. And this management means in a personal life, it is time management, our resource management, our fund management, our potential management. All these are required. At the same time, how we are using our subject knowledge to for gainful utilizations of all these things for better this economic prosperity. That is also another aspect of management. So today I believe that it will be a very engaging and this informative session delivered by to be delivered by Manjira Kaur, and we have these persons from faculties from our universities as well, Professor Inauguration Mukherjee, Professor Poira, Professor Punabesh Chakraborty. All of them are very much experts in their fields and as other fields as well, because they have long years of experiences and wisdom. And recently we have this Professor Niladri Chakraborty. He has joined. Professor Sevak Ranjan Rai is there. So I believe this will be a wonderful discussion platform, and that will be that will be very quite engaging and quite this useful for all the participants. So I'd like to thanks to all of you, and I'm requesting Professor Dr. Sevak Ranjan Rai to invite other speakers to share their opinions, and especially today's speaker Manjira Kaur to make her presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging advice. And right now, I am in Manjira Kaur is also an entrepreneur. Yeah, her mother is running a school, so his father an engineer, now doing.
So you do one thing, Dr. Sevak Ranjan Rai. The thing is this: as an anchor, you invite other speakers like Professor Punabesh Chakraborty. They can put their opinions and views, and then Manjira Kaur will present her deliberation. Afterwards, this can be discussed further. You invite Professor Inauguration Mukherjee, Professor Punabesh Chakraborty, Professor Poira to share their opinions and their ideas in this field first.
Thank you. Now I invite Professor B.B. Poira to give the keynote address today. Okay, thank you, sir. Professor B. Poera.
Honorable Chancellor, Professor Moitra, Dr. Pranavesh Chakraborty, Director of the School, Dr. Indranil Mukherjee, Director of the School of Management, Sevak, Dr. Sevak Ranjan Rai, Head of the Department of Science and Technology, newly joined Professor Dr. Niladi Chakraborty, and Madam Manjira Kaur, my dear participants, beloved students. It is a great pleasure for me to address you on this occasion, and you are aware that the webinar entitled Food Supply Chain Retail Management is going to be organized in two parts. Part one today on entrepreneur and business management in the context of the food sector, and the second part will be on 20th instant at the same time on food supply chain and retail management. Friends, food supply is what is called a super large supply sector with large number of variable factors to take note of its implementation. Again, it is of most ancient origin, maybe of several centuries. And it had its own solution for a long, long time, much before the age of internet or information technology. The supply chain involves, as always, three specific units: the producer, the supplier, and the consumer. However, in each such units related to the food chain, one would find specificities unlike other retail chains. For example, because I have tried to find out constraints and how to address to resolve those issues. Say most raw materials, or in that matter, the finished products also are not bar-coded and normally purchased or sold in kgs or liters. Think about meat or fish or even vegetables. Problem of freshness of the raw materials because of the perishable nature remains. There is mundane problem of spilling of oil and or chemicals in stores or warehouses as and when poses a potential hazard for fire. There has been lots of adverse report on the operation of deep fridge, cold storage warehouse used for frozen foods operating at around -18 degrees centigrade. Other challenges include the insufficient knowledge or reliable data on the shelf life or expiry date of the edible product. You know the controversy about the writing of expiry date on the sweetmeats in India, particularly in Kolkata. Problem of quality control check for the raw material and the product also remains. Till now, however, traditional approaches have been made to meet the challenges, but no major breakthrough has been made. I'd like to mention that the market in India is increasing, as is also pointed out by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, and it is, I should say, increasing day by day, and more so as the report goes during the COVID-19 pandemic. The market is huge and the opportunity enormous. One writer here again is that direct marketing from seller to consumer is always getting preference. And that again, particularly when one looks through the lens of religion, say halal and all those. So all these factors are coming into the supply chain management. I hope I was just trying myself to look into specific problems, and some of these problems I have tried to point out. And I hope we'd all be enlightened and refreshed with the current trend in the market from the deliberation of Madam Kaur. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Professor Vipara and Professor Shoikat Mito, both of you rightly pointed out the scope for our the potential of the entrepreneurships. In fact, the syllabus has been designed in such a way that these two topics has been incorporated in the syllabus. So, in fact, when we studied food technology at that point of time, this type of subjects was not there. We learned when we are in the profession. But right now, this syllabus has been designed in such a way the students will get, because they should get some techno-economic idea, and there is a huge scope for entrepreneurships entrepreneurship for in the area of food processing. Now,
Yes. India being one of the largest growers of food. So there is enough opportunity for entrepreneurship. You see, in that respect, this GeoFresh, Amazon Fresh, they are coming up. If there was no market, then they should not have invested. So there is lots of opportunities, and we invite young entrepreneurs to come.
That is what this kind of
take up this challenge.
Subjects has been incorporated in the syllabus.
But please, but be conscious and cautious about the problems that you will have to face, that you will have to surmount. And these are real problems. If you can solve any of these problems, you will get much advantage in the market.
Yes.
That is what I like to point out.
And also the restrict the wastage, to the tune of food grains is wastage in the range of 23 to 25% every year. It is either being rotted or in the process lost. So this can be converted into economic products also. That is what, there's a lot many scopes also there. Now I invite Professor Pranavesh Chakraborty to add few words, sir. So Pranavesh, sir. Sir, you are mute. Please unmute yourself. Yes, thank you. Okay.
He is not mute. His microphone is good.
I am very much vocal. Advantage and disadvantage of Pranav Chakraborty. Okay. Suprabhat. Very good morning to all the dignitaries and galaxies of the university and our guest, Dr. Manjira Kaur. It's a privilege for me to extend my warm, hearty wishes to our honorable, dynamic Vice Chancellor, Professor Shoikat Moitro, Professor B.B. Poira, Professor Indranil Mukherjee, Professor Shivak Ranjan Rai, and very specifically Dr. Manjira Kaur, with all my affectionate students. In the very inception of the discussion, our Honorable Vice Chancellor has clearly depicted what are the advantages and disadvantages in this entrepreneurship. And Professor B.B. Poira also he has shown the different aspects of the food technology, food science. The one thing we should keep in mind that the main problem of food preservation is its stability. The proper stability study and the duration to how long it can be kept intact so that we can give a better, fresh, quality food to the people. And particularly for the entrepreneurship, The scope is enormous, but the thing is, one is to keep in mind that today I'll be trying for entrepreneurship, tomorrow I'll be trying for some jobs. That will not do. That will not suffice the thing. I will be requesting my students, say, you please listen to Dr. Kaur with her long experience in different aspects from physics to management, and you will learn whatever possible. You keep in writing so that in near future, when you will be a full-fledged technologist, you can apply those ideas in your future career. With this, once again, I am extending my hearty welcome to all of you, and it is the time when the other speakers will speak, and we are there always from the university side with our beloved and dynamic Professor Moitro, Vice Chancellor. He is always boosting the updated technology. He is a dreamer, and he is injecting the dreams to all of us. So all kinds of help you will get from the university, from our side. You just prepare yourself to be a better and best technologist from this university. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Pranavesh Chakraborty, sir. You have rightly pointed out the preservation techniques practically for the shelf life of the products. This is an extension of the shelf life and standard, also how we can get the stable products also. So this is one way, it's a challenge also to the entrepreneurs. It's a very good entrepreneurship is basically is a techno-economic area is covered. It covers. So right now I request Professor Indranil Mukherjee to add few words on these topics. So basically management is not a art subject. Initially it was the idea, but this is basically a science subject. It involves a lot of scientific concepts. So I request Professor Indranil Mukherjee to add few words on the topics. Yes, sir, Professor Indranil Mukherjee, our Director, School of Management Sciences.
Thank you, Dr. Shebak Ranjan Roy. A very good morning to all the honored guests and the participants, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor Shoikat Moitro, Professor Pranavesh Chakraborty, Professor B.B. Poira, Dr. Shebak Ranjan Roy, and of course, our speaker for this occasion, Madam Manjira Kaur. Our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, had initiated this idea about developing a Department of Food Technology and leveraging the huge resources which are there in India in this area since about 2 years back. And we are indeed very, very happy, and we are feeling very honored that now today we have a full-fledged Department of Food Technology under the leadership of Dr. Shebak Ranjan Roy and under the overall leadership of Professor Pranavesh Chakraborty, and of course our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. Professor Poira is also there. So one thing I would like to point out is, number one, is that it has been rightly pointed out that we need to leverage this huge opportunity which is in front of us. And we have a dedicated technology business incubation center, which is called the Ekta Incubation Center in our university. Plus, we have started the idea of startup and incubation in a very big way. We are also in the process of pushing forward different kinds of innovative measures in our university. So the stage is set, and now we have to work hard to convert these ideas into something which is more realistic. Now, one thing I would like to point out, of course, Madam will speak in more detail, but very quickly like to point out that along with the idea that is essential in any innovation or any entrepreneurship, it is even more important to understand the business model clearly, to understand the revenue model. Because if you cannot translate your ideas into a viable business alternative, you will not be able to sustain it in the long run. One thing which our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, always says, and we must agree fully that our main problem is sustaining something. We start something and then somehow it does not get sustained. So I'm sure that Madam Kaur will outline her ideas today. So with these words, I would hand over the floor to Madam Manjira Kaur.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you,
Manjira,
sir.
now it is your time. Niladri will give the vote of thanks at the end. Okay, and really I am glad to grateful to our honorable Vice Chancellor. He is really well informed. No one can fool him. He is having all the informations right at his handy. So it is very nice to talk with Professor Shoikat Moitra, our honorable Vice Chancellor. He always encourages us in this kind of drives. In fact, it is his initiative for the webinar program to invite different people from different classes of areas. Also every we try to do a lot of things. Next week also there will be same time next Sunday on 20th December, the food supply chain and retail management. Same panel, same speaker, Mrs. Manjira Kaur. Now I request Manjira Kaur to take up the floor. Right now it is, I welcome you to the floor. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, now it is your time.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Manjira, and I'm grateful for this honor to be speaking on this floor today. I am just joined as a faculty in JIS, and I'm grateful to the Honorable MAKAUT faculty for giving me this honor, and I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Professor Shoikat Moitra, Honorable Vice Chancellor of MAKAUT, Professor B.B. Poira, Academic Advisor MAKAUT, Professor Pranavesh Chakraborty, Director of Food, Pharmaceutical and Medical Science and Technology MAKAUT, Professor Indranil Mukherjee, Director, School of Management Science MAKAUT, Professor Niladri Chakraborty and Professor Shebak Ranjan Roy, HOD Department of Food and Science and Technology MAKAUT. I'm really grateful to you all, and I'm also grateful to the students today who are listening to my small presentation. And with this note, I would like to start with today's topic, which is entrepreneurship and business management in the context of food sector. I'll share my screen. So entrepreneurship and business management in the context of the food sector, that's the topic today. But before we understand and study about entrepreneurship management, it is very important to know why we are studying entrepreneurship management. Today, in this context, the initial thrust to entrepreneurship ventures started when the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, launched the Startup India initiative in the year 2016. Creating a huge pool of rupees 10,000 crore for the Indian startups. This basically changed the scenario of startups in India. And then again in the year 2020, in this year, the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitaram announced an economic package of rupees 1 trillion fund for farm entrepreneurship. This fund will definitely benefit the private agriculture entrepreneurs and startups who are looking to procure directly from the farmers. Keeping in mind this huge potentiality of entrepreneurship, especially in the food sector, let us now go deep and understand what basically entrepreneurship management is all about. Let's start with the definition of entrepreneurship. What is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship refers to the concept of developing and managing a business venture in order to gain profit by taking several risks. So who is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is a person who is willing to start a new business, who is willing to take that risk to start a new business. There are risks involved, which we definitely do understand, and we will deal with those risks in the following slides. Definition, who is an entrepreneur? Now, if we understood who is an entrepreneur, what is entrepreneurship, we should also understand who's the entrepreneur. One who creates a new business in the face of risk and uncertainty for the purpose of achieving a profit and growth by identifying and assembling the necessary resources to capitalize on them. So, on the other hand, we can say an entrepreneur is a person who creates a new business, bearing in mind that the most of the risk are his, as well as he enjoys the profit, enjoys the reward that he has gained out of this endeavor. What is the role of entrepreneurship in economic development? Entrepreneurship, what does the entrepreneurship do? Entrepreneurship mobilizes the ideal cash that is lying with the public. How does he mobilize the cash that is lying with the public? Through shares, whatever he's floating in the market, through that he is mobilizing the wealth of the public. And investment that the entrepreneur makes with this capital utilities like natural resources, these add to rapid economic growth. Thus, an entrepreneur is basically a creator of wealth. He creates wealth when he is mobilizing the cash of the public. Improves in per capita income. When he is generating employment, he is improving the per capita income of the public. He is directly implementing it as well as indirectly implementing it. How is he directly implementing it? By directly being involved in the business, and by indirectly implementing it by pulling in employment, is improving the per capita income. He is balancing the regional development in the nearby areas. He is setting up plants, he is setting up industries in backwards area from where cash is being mobilized into wealth. So in this way, he is keeping a parity in the regional development. Improvement in living standards. When he is generating employment, obviously he is improving the living standards of the people. Economic independence. When economic independence is essential when the national when industrialists help to manufacture substitute by imported products, thereby reducing dependence on foreign countries. So when we are trying to lessen the dependence of our substances from other countries, we are trying to lessen the exports that we have from other countries. We are developing economic independence in our own country. Backward and forward linkages. How is he backward and forwarding it? He is pulling. Backward is basically pulling from the market. He is pulling from the market and he is pushing into the market. Backward lineages, for example, in a say suppose steel industry, he is pulling. When he is pulling on the iron, he is generating a demand in iron ore, coal, all these things. He is generating a demand and is pushing into the market. When he is pushing his whatever products he has developed, he is pushing into the market. In this way, he is creating a backward and forward linkages. Now, what makes an entrepreneur? We have to understand that there are certain traits that we have to cultivate, we have to develop within ourselves to become entrepreneur. First thing is curiosity. Curiosity, we have to, the whole thirst for learning has to be definitely there. There has to be strategic thinking. The way he thinks, the way he approaches a problem has to be very clear. Finance, his financial, the mode is how he would draw from the market, how he would invest. These things should be very clear in his hands. Resilience, when he has a power, the willpower to jump up from however he is fallen down. He has no qualms. He'll rise up from whatever hardships or whatever difficulties he is fallen down into. Time management, he should be very clear about how he is going to progress with his project. Communication, he has to have a lot of communication skills when he has to deliver with and communicate with the government professionals, the market, everybody. There is a lot of communication involved. He has to be very thorough with communications. Efficiency, he has to be a very efficient person. How he how he is able to deliver, how he is able to deliver on whatever how his thought process is, how is efficient about whatever he's thinking, or how he is going to extend with his business, he is able to deliver. Branding and sales, also he has to be very clear about how he's going to brand his product, how he's going to brand his service, and how he is going to generate sales. Now we'll go to the entrepreneur decision-making process. How does an entrepreneur decides the whole process of his decision-making? How does he go about it? He recognizes the problem, he analyzes the problem, he defines possible solutions to the problem, he analyzes all possible solutions. There might be a lot of solutions in front of him where he has to analyze those solutions and he has to come up with the best solution for the application. Then he has to implement that particular decision. Business opportunity identification. Business opportunity identification is when he knows what is the need and want of the customers. How does the customer think? What does the customer want? Inside proper understanding of the customer, he has to have that to take on his opportunity, to take on his business opportunity further. He has to have a very clear idea of the market. Who are the competitors presently? Who is producing that same kind of a product? Which market is he approaching, that competitor? These are the things he has to be very aware of, and the present trend of the market. That also has to be very clear. He has to be very clear about the trends that is basically going around in the market. Business idea generation, how he selects the most promising business idea through knowledge and understanding of potential customer needs. He has to have the knowledge and understanding of the customers. So how does he understand there is a knowledge and how does he gain knowledge and understanding of the potential customers? Is through 5W and H method. What is the 5W and H method? These are the questions a person should be asking himself before entering a business, before entering into a new venture. Who does he want to deliver? What does he want to deliver? Where does he want to deliver? When does he want to deliver? And why does he want to deliver? These are the 5 H's that he has to be very clear in his head before he creates a new venture, before he experiments with a new venture, and how he would go about the whole process. These are the things that has to be very clear. He has to have the knowledge of these things before he enters the market. Watching emerging trends and demands for certain products. There is a pull, there is a demand for certain things. For example, now we would see that later, a few years back, chips was available in larger quantities. There were big packets of chips that were available. But now we would see, why chips? Leave alone chips. Everything is getting smaller in quantity. Sachets, smaller quantity, 10 gram, 5 gram. These are the things that is demanding. The consumer is demanding these things. So these are the trends that is evolving. And accordingly, you have to adjust to these trends. Scope for production. The next point is scope for producing substitute product. When you are producing something, when you have, suppose you are into bakery and you are manufacturing a cake today. So you have to have some substitute product in your head. When you will one day when the cake is not selling, you have biscuits in your hand, which will sell more one day rather than cakes. So you have to have these substitute products in your mind so that you can sell in the market. Going through the literature of the product, you have to understand your product thorough before you enter the market with that product. Reading up success stories of entrepreneurs, making visits to trade fairs and exhibitions, displaying new products and services. We have to be very vibrant in understanding and venturing out to experiment these products. How are others basically experimenting with these products? Meeting with government agencies, understanding government policies. A new product introduced by the competitor. Maybe the competitor today has introduced a new product. So you have to study how the market is taking in, how the product is doing in the market. Market insights through observation. A entrepreneur has to be very observant of the market. What is the scenario of the market? What are the trends? These are the things that he has to be very clear about. Business opportunity recognition. How to recognize the idea. How he would recognize the idea is only by if the customer is willing to pay for that product. You have created a high-tech design, maybe a washing machine. That is, maybe you just by word of command, you just can operate that washing machine. But the product, the customer, you have attached a premium to that particular model. But the customers are not willing to pay for that product. So when the customers are definitely, you yourself are satisfied with the product, but the customers are not ready to pay for that product. So that is a huge gap between your idea and what the market wants. Your product definitely has to be new and innovative so that it is attracted in the market. It gains attraction in the market, attractive and desirable for people who want to buy it. Preparing a business plan. Meaning and significance, what is basically a business plan? A business plan is a written statement of what an entrepreneur proposes to take up. There are different categories to things that a businessman, entrepreneur should be clear in his head before he ventures. So it is basically a road map, or you can say it's a ladder. From each and every step, what you have to do. These are the things that are outlined. So before you jump steps, you have to be very clear that what are the steps, so that you do not basically jump steps. Components of a business plan. A good project report or business plan should have the following components. What are the components? Product. What is the product? What is your product? Who is financing it? Is the promoter. Location. Where is it located? The land, the building, the fixed cost involved, the plant, machinery, the production process. How would you produce the particular process? The utilities, the demand in the market. Is it creating proper utilities in the market? Transport and communication of that particular product. Raw material involved, manpower involved. Which market do you want to venture with it? Requirement of working capital. This is also very important when you have to decide how much money, how much capital do you have with you to perform your everyday working. You have invested a lot in your project, but you do not have a working capital today. You do not have that monetary. Whoever you have outsourced your land to, that person comes up and asks for money. You do not have that working capital with you to pay that that particular client. So requirement of funds. What are your requirements of funds? You have to be very clear about your fund part. Cost of production. What would be your costs involved for production? Profitability of first 10 years. How you would be judging your profitability for the first 10 years. Break-even analysis. When you would target yourself for a break-even. What is a break-even? When you have whatever you have taken loan or whatever cash you have put in your business, you have reached the amount for which the amount you have spent. So amount you have spent and the cost, there is it's a meeting point of that. That is a break-even analysis. The amount you have spent in the business and amount you have taken out of the business, or you have taken out profit from the business. So that analysis has to be very clear in your head. When you are going to achieve your break-even point, you have to target yourself according to that. Schedule of implementation. How do you roadmap? How do you milestone your operation into? How do you schedule all your implementation? How would you go about implementing all your processes? Now the feasibility study. What do we understand by feasibility? The product demand. Is there a need or want for your product or service? You have to keep on understanding these questions. You have to keep on asking these questions to yourself. Is there a need or want for your product or services? Is the need already met by somebody else? And or is there any room for producing a new product? Market condition. Who would buy your product and where are they? Which market are you targeting on? Can you serve that location? Maybe you have produced your goods at Kathmandu, but your market is in Tamil Nadu. So the whole marketing would be the cost involved would be much more. So you have to understand where your market is. Pricing. What do current users pay for that similar product that has been launched? That product that is already there, what is the amount that the customer is already paying? So you cannot charge something more than all that is already there in the market. You have to be very aware of the prices involved. What do you need to charge as that would be profitable for you? You have to create your profitability as well as understand what is there in the market so that you do not over exceed yourself. Risks. What are the risks associated with your idea? Probability of success. Can you reasonably overcome the risk to become profitable? What are the risks involved and how can you be profitable in taking into consideration all those risks? Marketing the venture. How to market the new venture? Conduct market research. Market research is basically the opinion of the people, how the product is doing in the market, how is the service doing in the market. Second point is profile the target market, where you have to understand your target market, accordingly profile it beforehand, before you enter the market. Identify the unique selling proposition of that particular product, USP that we call. You have to have a USP of your product. A product usually sells in the market very well when you have a USP about your product. When you have a certain points about your product which can really sell in the market. That is, there's no other competitor has ever thought about it. Develop a business brand. Your communication becomes much more easier if you have a brand. You have predefined branding done to your model. Choose the marketing avenues. How you would market your avenues? Would you go with direct marketing? How would you market? Would you go for personal selling? How would you market your product? Set a goal and a budget. Prior to everything, you have to set a goal of when you are going to achieve a break-even analysis, maybe goal of when you are going to achieve profit. So all these things have to be very clear. Nurture the loyal customers. There might be customers who are already availing your product. If you are again, I'll give you an example of a baker today. If you already have sold your product to few customers nearby and they have really appreciated it, you should never lose them. You should always take care of them, nurture them properly so that they become your loyal customers. Regular monitoring and review. So you have to monitor the market. You have to understand. You are set about certain things in your head and you do not want to move further. You do not want to move ahead. Then it might be a problem for you. Now we will go to the financing part. So how do you determine the startup costs? What are the startup costs involved when you would start a new venture? That is office space, inventory, license fees and permits, professional fees, advertising expenses, working capital, unanticipated expenses. You have to have a budget and unanticipated expenses budget with you, which is there in your mind, which would take care of all unanticipated expenses that might suddenly crop up. You have to pay those expenses, security deposits, machine and equipments. All these are part of the startup costs involved. Financing the new venture. What are the sources of fund? The sources of fund are through debt financing, through equity financing, or through other financing methods. What is debt financing? Through when we are taking out loans from banks, from government financial programs, from other finance companies. That is debt financing. What is equity financing? We would understand all these things later on in the following slides. What is equity financing? Personal savings, whatever you have, the cash, the money that you have in your hand right now to invest. That is your personal saving. Private investor partners, venture capital firms. There are a lot of venture capitalists who are there who would want, who would you could pitch your product in such a way that they give you loans to run your to start your entrepreneurship. Public stock sales. Other factors is factoring. When you are taking out money from some other company, leasing. When you're leasing out your maybe a part of your factory unit, credit cards. What is debt financing? Debt financing, when a company borrows money to be paid back in the future date with interest, it is known as debt financing. When I'm taking a bank loan, that is debt financing, but I have to pay that back with interest. So that interest factor is very important, and that interest at times is very high. So you have to keep in mind these things when you are taking loan from the bank. It can be in the form of secured loans or unsecured loans. Debt financing, the main features of debt financing, the characteristics of debt financing are debts have specific dates by which it must be repaid. The bank will give you a certain date. In that date only, you have to pay back your with interest, or you could be considered as a defaulter. Credits have prior claims on assets. Creditors have prior claims on assets. Whoever is loaning you, suppose to the bank, they have prior claims on assets. If you're not paying off your loans, you're not paying off your loans with proper interest, the creditors have the right to take over your business, to take over all your assets that you have, take away. Interest must be paid regardless of operating results. Whatever come what may, you have to pay them back the interest. Creditors are not owners and cannot impose control on management. So if you are taking money debt from the bank, the bank is not responsible for how you are managing or controlling your business. What are the sources of debt finance? As I said, it's bank loans, government and financial loans, finance companies, and others. Now we go to equity financing. What is equity financing? It is a process of raising capital through the sale of shares. When I'm basically liquidating through shares, I want to venture into a new investment project. So I'm trying to sell shares in the market. Through that, I'm trying to draw in my cash. Companies raise money as they might have a short-term need to pay or invest. There is a particular need that might be short-term also, and that need can be only that delivered when there is a when you sell shares of your company. By selling shares, the firm sells ownership of the company in return of cash. So what you're selling a particular ownership of your particular percentage of ownership of your company when you're selling shares. In return for what? In return for cash. What are the characteristics of equity financing? Once again, it has no maturity date. Shareholders have claims on assets only after the creditors. So after the banks, shareholders have claims to your assets. Dividend payment depends on the firm's performance. When how you pay the dividend, how you pay off your shareholders, how you pay for their shareholders for owning a certain kind of business is totally on the firm's performance at that point of time. Shareholders are owners and can influence firm's management. They are owners and can influence. They hold shares. They are small owners of your company, and they can influence how your company is running. If they find that their dividend payoff is not right, not up to the mark, they have the right to comment and about the management, how you are proceeding with your management works. Equity financing, source of equity financing, it's personal financing, private investors, partners. Debt equity ratio. This is a very important ratio that we should always deal with. We have to always deal with when we are entering a new venture. What is debt equity ratio? It is a measurement of the degree to which a company is financing its operations through debt versus wholly owned funds. Basically, it is amount that I have in my pocket and the amount that I have taken out as debt. So, if you have it reflects the ability of shareholders' equity to cover all outstanding debts in the event of a business turnout. If I have proper amount of money in my pocket and the amount I've drawn is more than the amount I've drawn out from the market, then obviously I would be able to pay off my shareholders properly. But if I do not have amount in my pocket and the amount of debt that I have in my in market is more, obviously you would not be able to pay off your shareholders. The ideal debt equity ratio is 2, and for larger firms it might increase more than 2. What are the legal form of new ventures? The legal form of new ventures are sole proprietorship, when you are the whole and sole owner of your business. General partnership, when you have partners to your business. Non-profit organization, when you claim yourself to be a non-profit organization, you do not consider profit to be the only way of administrating your business. Private limited companies, when you do not believe in, you have very small share base of shareholders. Protection of intellectual property rights. What is the meaning of intellectual property rights? Protection of ideas developed by people, business. That is, whatever idea that I have got, I have to protect it. I have to stamp mark it so that it is not wrongly profited by others who are coming into the market. Wrongly profited from their creators or inventors. Protection of intellectual property right. What are the common types of intellectual property rights? They are patents, copyrights, neighboring rights, trademark, design rights, etc. These are the various forms of these are the various types of intellectual property rights. There are more which I have not discussed out here or which I have not stated. There are various other forms of intellectual property rights as well. Strategies for growth. What are the various growth strategies? First is a market penetration strategies. You have a market, predefined market, and you want to penetrate that market with that particular product that you have, with that particular service that you have. You want to be in that market. You want to penetrate. How do you penetrate your market? When you increase your market share. How do you increase your market share? When you have a very convenient pricing to your model done. So when you have a low pricing to your model done, obviously you would generate a lot of demand. When you generate a lot of market share, improve your market share in that market. The second point is market expansion or market development. When you are expanding your market, when you are going, you want to venture into a new market, when you have a new market predefined in front of you. Product expansion strategy, when you have, there might be a technological implementation, new technology implementation through which you expand your product, give your product in a better way, basically. Strategize your product in such a way that new technology is incorporated. Growth through diversification. This is very risky thing, but many players who are already in the market for some time, they would want to diversify into a new market with new products. Everything is new. So a lot of planning they do, a lot of study that they do before entering into a new market with a totally new product. Acquisition of other companies, when you acquire a particular company and accordingly market your own product. exit strategies for entrepreneurship. This is also very important when the entrepreneur knows how to harvest his rewards. What are the possible exit strategies? Sorry, liquidation or walk away. When you are liquidating all your assets that you have and you are directly walking away. In this way, you can exit from that particular business. Family succession. When you have hereditary, you want to give your business to somebody in your family, so that is family succession. Selling the business outright, selling the business to somebody else, taking the company public when you are dealing with shares, when you are selling your companies through shares. Bankruptcy, you call yourself bankrupt and you have to just sit back and do nothing. And you can't do anything basically. Now we would go to the future of entrepreneurship. What are the scope of entrepreneurship in India? The future of entrepreneurship in India lies in the service sector today. The government is giving a lot of support to encourage this trend. There are global players who are entering the market, who are taking care of taking care of small entrepreneurs so that they can, and investing, they are basically investing on these entrepreneurs. The government of India promoting and supporting small and medium-sized entrepreneurs in India. The government is also giving a lot of prominence, a lot of support, a lot of benefits to small and medium-sized entrepreneurs. Beside government initiatives, many private organizations are also, like, who are already there in the market, bigger players. They are trying to cocoon the new entrepreneurs. Technology, with new technology development, lot of entrepreneurs are trying to benefit from these new technologies and entering the market. Social media, now through social media, you can have free coverage, free branding, free marketing of your product or service. Now we'll go to a few case studies. These are live case studies, and basically these are people who are right now in business and who have profited and who are expanding, who have started entrepreneurship and want to expand through their entrepreneurship model. We would like to understand what is their entrepreneurship model. So these two models that I have taken up are, one is of Food Express Lunch Private Limited. If you the two case studies I have dealt with, if you understand the profile, the people who have started these companies and the people who have started with these entrepreneurs, you would be very encouraged, I feel, because these owners, for this particular case study, the Food X Lunch Private Limited, it's a partnership company, and it is a startup registered in 2020 as a private limited company. The company profile is located in Jubilee Park, Hyderabad, Telangana. The company is about home cooked food prepared and delivered. There are a total of 9 permanent employees and 5 part-time employees. Most of the employees are women. Currently, they have only 1 business unit and 1 kitchen unit and 6 people working in the kitchen, and others are spread out in different other aspects, other activities. Now, the owner's profile, there are 2 owners. One is S. Jayaprasad Rao and the next is Paladhi Praveena. S. Jayaprasad, he is a banking profession for 15 years now. Experience in product sales, relationship and collection, and he holds a master from IFT, that is the International Business from International Institute of Foreign Trade, and holds a master's in International Business Studies. So you would understand that this person is highly educated. He has practically worked in banks for 15 years, but still he is an entrepreneur today. The next person who is an entrepreneur, his wife, has a held senior leadership roles in consultancy companies dealing with immigration services in Hyderabad. She holds bachelor degree in engineering with specialization in computer science and information technology. So these two people who have no background of anything related to food, they have entered as entrepreneur. And it is in 2020 that they have registered their business, and already in November they have had break even, and in December 2020 they are claiming a turnover of 1.4 lakhs per annum per month. What is the product service? What is the product service that they're dealing with? They're dealing with home cooked food, prepared and delivered. Food Express works on pre-order subscription model. They have a mobile app where users have a choice of to subscribe from monthly and weekly meal plans. The users also have the choice to select between 4 different meal plans according to their dietary requirements. So these are the things, these are the technological trends that they have picked up and they have tried to benefit out of it. Customer knowledge, mostly the customers are employees, working professionals and senior citizens who do not have better alternative for healthy food at affordable price. So they are basically targeting on those customers who do not have the means to avail for a good healthy food at affordable price, because of their hectic work schedule, because of their age or likewise. So for them, eating a nutritious, if they are provided at their very doorstep, if they are provided with a nutritious packed lunch meal, so that would be a huge benefit. What is the investment, the startup cost that they had? It was rupees 10 lakhs. And monthly turnover is about 1.4 lakhs, and the month of November they have attained their break-even point. Business strategy, it is a business to consumer model. The raw material that is involved are food grains, vegetables, fruits, cooking ingredients are purchased. All of these are purchased from the supermarket, and fruit vendors, cooked in hygienic environment and packaged in a healthy way and directly delivered to the customer. Growth strategy, what are the growth strategy that they would plan, that they are planning, so that they can expand the product line to more healthy recipes, to more, they want to expand their products, the number of products that they have, they want to expand on that and diversify into corporate catering. They also have a defined exit strategy in their head by diversifying the stakes that they have. Next case study that we are studying today is that of a cafe model restaurant joint, which is known as the Chaiwala. Here also, it is very interesting. The owner's profile is very interesting. That's why I have picked up this case study, so that I can motivate all of you. This person, by the name of Sukrit Poddar, when he started his business, he was 22 years old. And he had just passed out from Shantiniketan. He has done graduation, post-graduation in Shantiniketan in history of art. So he is nowhere linked anywhere to the food industry. But he is such a dynamic person. He's such an influential person. When you talk to him, such a young person, young chap. But when you talk to him, you understand the enthusiasm. You understand the whole like working spirit of that person. Company profile of the Chaiwala is, it is a sole proprietor cafe model. Name of the cafe is the Chaiwala, registered in 2015. It has 3 business models, 3 business units that is running right now. One at Toliganj, the second at Southern Avenue, the third at Hatibagan, Kolkata. Pre-COVID, they had a manpower of 35 people staff. Owner's profile, Sukrit Poddar, right now he is 27 years of age. Schooling from Julian Day School, graduation and post-graduation from Shantiniketan. Subject is history of art. Comes from a business family where his father is a freelance artist. Sukrit started the business when he was 22 years old and is a self-taught person all through. He claims he has never taken any professional help from anybody. And with absolutely no professional help, he runs the 3 business outlets all by himself. He is totally an inspiring role model. Product service knowledge. They started it from coffee and beverages, and they have now included starters, and they have main course model also incorporated in their menu. Customer knowledge, upmarket customer model, who wants to have a place to chat over coffee with a decor which is very relaxing for them. Investing startup cost, his budget when he started this project, the first project was in Tollygunj, his budget exceeded almost 100%, and they almost did not have any working capital to run that business. That's what he kept on saying, I had 1,000 to 2,000 rupees in my pocket when I started my working in the cafe. Initially, with no working capital, he had just 2 employees with him handling the kitchen, and he himself would be in the kitchen most of the time because he did not have any money to hire anybody, particularly a pre-qualified chef. So he was himself in the kitchen. But he had taken a bank loan, and everything is from nothing he had taken. When he started the new venture, it was totally from his own from his own pocket. He had when he opened the next joint, he had taken a bank loan which is already paid off, and the third one that he has opened, he has also taken a bank loan which he is almost halfway through about paying it off. Now, the unique structure of this model I found is the inventory management. It is a central storage system which is like a mini supermarket. There is a 6-day automated inventory system. Some raw materials are weekly purchased and others are monthly. The inventory is linked with the billing system. As soon as the bill is generated, the inventory is deducted from the system. So whatever bill is generated, suppose you have ordered coffee and that bill is generated, from the inventory, whatever ingredients is there for coffee, supposedly coffee, there espresso, there is milk, there is sugar involved. So all these things would be directly subtracted from the inventory, and that would be going that, and the person, and they also have a 6-day automated, that would be prior to 6 day. They already have a 6-day inventory ready. So when it is getting minus, that would be added to their weekly purchases. That has to be done. What are the business moves? Initially, Sukrit did not believe in having a marketing model, and the amount that he had a belief that the amount that he could have spent on market was spent on customer satisfaction and word of mouth. After now 5 years now, they are focusing on marketing. All recipes, they have an in-house designer also right now, and the growth strategy, what they are planning to is the 6 to 7 outlets in Kolkata. They do not want to over diversify. They do not want to have a very extensive outlet model. That happened with CCD, which had almost 1 outlet in each and every nook and corner of India. And when the COVID hit, there was a huge loss incurred by the company, and they had to shut down many operations, many units. Exit strategy, he does not have any pre-planned exit strategy in his head right now. So these are the 2 case studies that we have done. Now we are going to importance of entrepreneurship in the food industry. the government has introduced almost 50 plus startup schemes in today's context. These are the raw material. Some of them I have researched and found out, and there are so many that the government have introduced just for the food industry. Raw material assistance, the startup schemes aims at helping the micro, small and medium enterprises, the MSMEs, by way of financing the purchases of raw material. They would purchase the raw material for that. If you are a micro or a medium sized company. So the micro and medium sized company can focus on the quality of the product rather than thinking about what they have to purchase. Scale up support to establish incubation centers. This scheme provides financial scale up support to enable establish incubation centers. The scheme would radically transform the startup ecosystem in the country by upgrading the established incubation centers to world-class standards. So they have taken that initiative of monitoring and developing the incubation centers. Scheme for promotion of innovation, entrepreneurship and agro industry. This has been launched with an objective to set up a network of technology centers, incubation centers. They are basically technologically driven, and these are the technology in incubation centers to accelerate entrepreneurship and to promote startups. Infrastructure development schemes. This schemes aims to solve the office space issues of MSMEs, the medium and the small scale, medium scale enterprises. The corporation has a commercial building at New Delhi, Chennai, and Hyderabad. Some others are Atal Incubation Centers. This scheme aims to support and encourage startups to become successful entrepreneurs. They basically take care of you so that you become a successful entrepreneur. They provide necessary and adequate infrastructure along with high quality assistance or services to startups in their early stages of growth. Atal Tinkering Laboratories. Atal Tinkering Laboratories, this scheme fosters curiosity, creativity and imaginations in young mind and inculcates skills such as design mindset, computerization thinking, adaptive learning, physical computing, etc. What are the government incentives that are provided to entrepreneurship in the food sector? The FDI policy, there is 100% FDI relaxation under government approved routes for trading, including through e-commerce for food products produced and manufactured in India. Fiscal incentives, these are few incentives that are there. I'm so sure there would be more if you research more about these incentives that are given by the government. Fiscal incentives, 100% tax exemptions to food processing units on profits for the first 5 years of operation and 25 thereafter for the next 5 years. 100% income tax exemption for food processing sector only. Mega food park, government giving grant aid up to 75% on the basis of general area or a difficult area to set up a mega. If you are starting it in a remote area, the grant would be given. Special fund by NABARD to provide loans up to 7 years. They have accumulated rupees 2,000 crores of fund from NABARD for food processing units. Now the education, who are providing educations to entrepreneurships in India? What are the Center for Entrepreneurship Development Institutes? That is the CEDIs in India. Center for Entrepreneurship Development Institute, Small Industries Services Institute, SISI. The Small Service Institute are set up one in each state to provide consultancy and training to small and prospective entrepreneurs. Small Industries Development Organization, the SIDOs, it is subordinate office of the Department of SSI and Auxiliary and Rural Industries. It is an apex body and nodal agency for formulating, coordinating, and monitoring the policies and programs for promoting and development of small-scale industries. National Small Industries Corporation Marketing Development Centers was developed with a view to increase the share of purchases from small-scale sectors, the government stores. Small Industries Extension Training Institute, CT, was originally set up as in Institute of Small Industry Extension Training at New Delhi in 1960 by the Government of India to help promote, develop, and modernize small and medium entrepreneurs in the country. Entrepreneur Development Institute of India, EDII, is an autonomous body and not-for-profit institute located in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, India. Established in 1983, the institute offers master's degree program in entrepreneurship, a fellowship program, and a number of entrepreneurship training programs. Institute of Rural Management and Administration, IRMA, that is located in Anand, is an autonomous institute and a premier business school located in Anand, Gujarat. It is promoted in India by NDDB with a mandate of contributing to the professional management of rural organization. National Institute of Entrepreneurship and Small Business Development. The National Institute of Entrepreneurship and Small Business Development is a premier organization of the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, engaged in training, consulting, research, etc. in order to promote entrepreneurship and skill development. National Alliance of Young Entrepreneurs, NAYA. It is national organization of young entrepreneurs of the country, which looks into the interest of young entrepreneurs. It takes special care of the interest of women entrepreneurs. Maharashtra Center for Entrepreneurship Development. Maharashtra Center for Entrepreneurship Development is one of the CEDs in India, working in the field of entrepreneurship development since 1988. Future of entrepreneurship in the food sector. Which sector of the which segment of the food sector does entrepreneurship looks bright right now? It is a ready-to-eat food products. The ready-to-eat food products being considered as a closest alternative to regular food, which can be consumed anytime, such as during breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Edible cutlery. As the government is banning plastics and some of the disposable food cutlery like cup, dish, and spoons, edible cutlery like spoons which can be eaten after taking your meal or you can throw it away are gaining prominence. The edible cutlery business is certainly gaining prominence because the disposable food cutlery in contrast to the disposable food cutlery. Algae, it is a huge demand for nutritional values. It's one of the superfoods. So in future, the demand will definitely increase. Algae like spirulina is in the form of protein bar, healthy high protein powder, capsule, khakra, thepla. These algae can be used. Lab grown meat. The World Health Organization classified processed meat as being carcinogenic to humans and has drawn a link between meat consumption and antibiotic resistant bacteria in humans. Full meal replacement powder or another form. I mean to replace every meal. These capsules, they are converted into capsules or smoothies and they can be replacement for your whole meal. Organic food, which with Indian organic food industry, it's growing in a double digit and is supposed to perform well in the recent future. So with this, I would like to end my presentation. Thank you for your patience. Now I would, it would be open for any kind of questions from your side.
Okay. Thank you, Munjira. You have given an excellent presentations right now. Now I request the participants to ask any questions either from the chat books or in the, you can ask directly. You raise your hand and ask the questions. Now, I find Saurabh Sarkar first. Saurabh, you ask your question right now. It is your turn right now. Tell me. Saurabh Sarkar. Can you hear me? Saurabh?
Sarkar, please unmute your mic and please ask. Saurav Sarkar, please ask your question. Please unmute your mic and ask your question. Saurav Sarkar. Sir, I think there is some network glitch
Okay.
from the
Ask him
Saurav
to
Sarkar.
put the question in the chat
Yes, sir.
box. Okay.
So we have one question in the chat box. Can you see, sir?
Yeah, I can see you. One Sobbosachi Bhattacharya. His question is, what is merger and acquisition study? Is it involved with the strategic execution and organizational culture? Munjira?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Mergers and acquisitions happen when you are want to basically diversify your products, when you want to spread your product base, when you acquire a company, when you merge with a certain company so that you are able to establish. Supposedly you have you are merging or acquiring a company. Merge is being united with a certain company, and acquisition is totally taking control of that company. So if you are India, you want to merge or acquire a company in US supposedly, so you can take your product from or your service from India to US. So it is definitely a strategy execution, and definitely it is implemented by organizations so that they can diversify, they can enter new markets. Did I answer your question?
Thank you. I think Sobbosachi, did you get your answer? Now, Saurabh Sarkar, will you please ask your question right now? Saurabh? No, he is not available. Now, yes, Sobbosachi say yes. Any more question from anybody else? From the participants? No, I have some explanation from Manjira right now. That kindly explain a little bit more about the break-even point.
Okay, sir. Break-even point is basically that point where your business, whatever profit you have earned from the business and whatever you have invested, the amount that you have invested, that it kind of balances out. It has a, suppose I have invested 10 rupee. I have invested 10 rupees today for my product for various certain things that I have invested for, and I have profited 10 rupees today. I have gained 10 rupees today. So that is my break-even point. So my whole budget is balanced. So now I would think about profit. So I have drawn, now it's no more what I have to pay off. It's more of my profit that I can generate from the market. So that is the break-even point.
It is at a point where no profit, no loss, isn't it?
No profit, no loss. Yes.
That's the position. And what about debt equity ratio? What should be the idea? You have mentioned that it should be.
It should be 2. It should be 2. It's the amount of money.
Yes, tell me.
It is generally 2, but it can also exceed from 2 or go down from 2. But it's the ideal ratio is 2. And debt equity ratio is it can be the way it can be measured is through company's total liabilities divided by the shareholders' equity. What is the total liability that the company has, and the how much I'm paying, I can pay off my shareholders. So that is my debt equity ratio.
Yes, Dr. Roy, let me illustrate a little bit more. Thank you, Madam Kaur.
Thank you, sir.
Debt equity ratio basically relates to the capital structure of the firm. Okay, I mean, for the people who are asking, the students who are asking, it relates to the capital structure of the firm. So, and it is also related, if it's a listed company, then it is related to the beta of the stock of the company. It means when the company is borrowing heavily, then its debt is higher than its equity, and therefore the company is more risky to invest in. But the return from the company will also be better. So that is how the capital structure of the company plays out. Okay. Okay, please continue, Dr. Roy.
Okay. Okay. Now one more question: is merger increase market power? This is one more question.
That depends on the margin actually.
There is one question from Soposachi Bhattacharya: is merger increase the market power?
Okay, that depends on the companies who are merging. It is frequently the case that if the companies together can take care of a greater share of the market, then obviously the conglomerate will have a greater leveraging power.
Exactly.
I mean, I should not use the word leveraging. That is used in a very specific sense in finance. They will have an increased market share, definitely. See, I mean, this is for all the participants. Madam Kaur has beautifully explained, but let me take it a little further, that every company, every organization has certain objective functions. Now, they want to maximize certain things. What are the things they wish to maximize? They wish to maximize their revenue. They wish to maximize their profit. They wish to maximize their value. That is the most important thing for any organization, value. There are big books written on this, valuation. And you see, every CFO and CEO of a company has those books on their tables, valuation. How do you value your company? How do you value your firm? So those are the things they wish to increase. And what are the things they wish to decrease, minimize? They wish to minimize their loss. They wish to minimize their attrition rate. So in short, people say that you wish to maximize everything that adds value to your company, and you wish to minimize anything which deletes value from your company. Okay. So mergers and acquisitions are typically fashioned along that.
Okay, sir. One more question from the same person. What is the actual success and failure in merger?
Sorry?
That cannot be.
What is the actual success and failure in merger? And what is the difference between break-even analysis and break-even point? So
basically the same thing. I mean, when we are doing break-even, we are equating the total revenue and the total costs. So when we are carrying out an analysis, see, basically whatever models you see in your economics textbooks or elementary management textbooks are what we call typically toy models. And so break-even analysis means when you have a more involved model. And Madam has again explained in great detail entrepreneurship and all that. I wish to say one thing to all the participants. Say, you will hear about a lot of models in management, in finance, etc. And people talk about good and bad models. But the issue is no model is good or bad or correct or incorrect. Remember, all models are wrong in a way. Models can only be useful. So when you set up a model, you try to find out whether the model is useful or not. If it is not useful, you throw it away. If it is useful, you continue with it with the knowledge that it is not a perfect model or a correct model. Because essentially, when you are building a model, you are stripping the problem of many of its functionalities. Otherwise, you cannot build a model. So all you need to do is to understand whether the model is useful or not.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I request Professor Indranil Mukherjee to give a valedictory lecture right now. Sir, Professor Indranil Mukherjee, please.
Okay. So once again, thanks to our resource person, Madam Manjira Kaur. She has very articulately and with her beautiful slides, she has explained the spirit of entrepreneurship and with the case studies, the applications in the food industry. So I would like to thank her once again. And also I would like to tell all the participants that entrepreneurship will not be effective. That you may have a lot of theoretical knowledge and all that, but do get started. As I said at the beginning, that our university is running a technology business incubation center, because today, you see, every incubation effort, startup effort is tied up with technology. You cannot take it forward. For example, the old days of marketing are over. You are now focusing on digital marketing. So if among you, one or two of you can really start an entrepreneurship program or a startup, university is there to help you. We are all focused on that. And the food industry, the food technology area provides plenty of opportunities for this. So I would request the participants to get started. And as you move along, Madam has beautifully explained about the break-even analysis, mergers, acquisitions, what are the steps, what are the financing things, what is the capital structure and all that. But you will learn more and more when you actually burn your hands doing it. As they say, that you may learn a lot of things in a software, but unless you get involved in a software project, unless you write, go through an SDLC, software development lifecycle, you will never have the full feeling of what is going on. So get started in a very, very small way and get excited about it. Thank you. Now I'm handing back to Professor Shebak Ranjan Roy.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now I request for Nilati Chakraborty, Dr. Nilati Chakraborty, to give the vote of thanks right now. Nilati Chakraborty, Nilati, now is your turn.
Okay. So actually, before I give some vote of thanks, I give some few words. That is, we have to convert the science and technology knowledge, book knowledge, to the practical knowledge, number one. Number two, we are now switching to Atmanirbhar Bharat, so we have to do it by maintain or by implement this Atmanirbhar Bharat. And number three is that the company's technical knowledges are restricted. So if you build a say, small setup in a small pilot plant, you acquire your knowledge and you transfer your knowledge to your practicability. And I also encourage few students in my past assignment HIT, where I found that 2 to 2 students are already doing small bakery industry, and one student already established mineral water plant. So in future, I will encourage our FSC department students to set up or to build up some small plants like bakery plants, mineral water plants, potato chips plants, because already some HIT students, past my assignment students, they already done the, but they already doing a very good thing. And on behalf of the vote of thanks, I especially thanks to VP sir, he give us a lot of time to us. He especially think about the theory of everything. That is very good idea, Stephen Hawking idea, or other scientist idea. So we are not stick to our knowledge on food technology. We have to stick to our knowledge to physics, chemistry, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, or other aspects. And I also thanks to B.B. Poira sir, Professor B.B. Poira sir, Professor Pronovesh Chakraborty sir, Professor Indranil Mukherjee sir, our departmental head Shebak Ranjan sir, for their initial ideas and valuable thoughts to us and also to the students. I especially thanks to our today's special guest lecture, that is Madam Monjira Kaur. She actually highlighted so many good things. So out of them, so she highlighted about who will become an entrepreneur. That is very important. Anybody cannot build a factory, or anybody cannot. So your zeal or your tenacity will be required. So number two is that the quality of the entrepreneur is very, very important. You have to honest in your business, because some business are failure, they are dishonest person. Those business are sustained, those are honest. Honesty is a very important factor. And number three is that the business opportunity is required, because government or some other sectors have to came forward to grow some opportunity. Already some central government and West Bengal government are doing this. And number four is that the business idea or generation is also very important. So what idea you have to first keep. So before any research, some idea you have to speak. So before business, you have to stick to the business idea. Suppose you want to stick to the, say, mineral water small plant. Then you, after a few months, after 6 months, you stick to the bakery plant. Then after bakery plant, you stick to the say other food items, ready to eat plant. So whenever you jump up one sector to the another sector, your total investment will be lost. So that is very important. So you have to chalk out your planning very thoroughly. And next point is that Madam highlighted about that the recognition is very important for your business. So recognized by, say, your product must be recognized by the ISI, FSSI or other sectors. And not only that, Madam also highlighted about the legal aspect of our business. That is, there are some legal norms, environmental norms also are present. Madam highlighted beautifully. And she also gave us some examples of some entrepreneurs that those they already started their small business. That is also very nicely lectured. And not only that, she highlighted about the some entrepreneurship colleges and the schools are also developed. So in future, MAKAUT also think about the some entrepreneurship, small sector or some small certificate or diploma course related on the entrepreneurship related matters. So our students also side by side parallel to this degree, they also offering this degree, and outside students also achieve this degree. And next point is that Madam also highlighted about that there are food sectors, which food sectors we have to invest our money, that is ready to eat, edible, say some cups or spoons like that. Already we heard that the China performed some good, excellent job. That is, they in their Olympic, China Olympic, they actually use their cups. Those cups are edible cups. So we have to build up our knowledge according to that. And organic food is also very important because so much pesticides or the fertilizers are used nowadays. So we have to switch our thinking about the organic food sector. So, the thing is very important. And last and not the least, the very famous quote of Swami Vivekananda, because I am very fond of this quote. So in a day when you don't come across any problems, you can be sure that you are traveling in a wrong path. So any entrepreneurship, anything, any research, any work, you always have some odd things. So you have to overcome this. If you not face the problem, so you guess that you are going to a wrong path. And lastly, I am 100% sure that the precious knowledge given by the Madam is well and definitely help us in our studies and the syllabus and our future purpose. Once again, I thank to our respected VC sir and other respected person for giving their valuable time here in this platform. And last but not the least, I thank to the students for their patience to listen this valuable lecture, and also to the hidden faces who are directly or indirectly connected to this seminar or webinar. Thank you very much, Sevak sir and VC sir and Monjira madam, all of the dignitaries. Thank you.
Thank you, Niladri. Now I request Professor Pranavesh Chakraborty, could you add something on his topics, on her presentation? Professor Pranavesh Chakraborty, are you there? Sir, although after vote of thanks, nothing to...
প্রচুর আলোচনা হয়েছে, অনেক কিছু জানা গেছে, এটাকে চর্চা করে এগিয়ে যেতে হবে। শুনবো, হ্যাঁ, এটা অনেক আলোচনা হয়েছে এন্টারপ্রেনারশিপ সম্বন্ধে। ম্যাডামের যে thought provoking depiction that will certainly help us and our students. I think not to say much for today. Next time when we'll meet, we'll see,
discuss also,
say something.
Now, sir, Professor B. Poera, will you please add some few words on our presentation?
সংক্রান্ত না হলেও, am I audible?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
শোনা যাচ্ছে?
হ্যাঁ স্যার শোনা যাচ্ছে।
আচ্ছা, I'm looking forward to hearing something from some speakers যে কবে food capsule পাওয়া যাবে with units of say 100 calories, 200 calories, 500 calories, like this, mark like this, একটা সুষম খাদ্যের ক্যাপসুল কবে পাওয়া যাবে?
এটা তো স্যার আছে, স্যার এটা আছে
এটা আছে স্যার,
আছে, ডিফেন্সে ইউজ হয়, যেখানে
না, না,
খাবার পৌঁছয়
এটা-
না সেইখানে ক্যাপসুল, এটা তৈরি হয় চুল থেকে, চুল আমাদের যে চুল,
কেরাটিন।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
না, আমি চাইছি যে একেবারে কমন পাবলিকের জন্য ফ্যাট, কার্বোহাইড্রেট, প্রোটিন নিয়ে
স্যার ওটা
একটা
খাবেন না,
ক্যাপসুল।
স্যার ওটা খাবেন না, আপনার বডি সিস্টেম কিন্তু চেঞ্জ করে দেবে, ওটা
না, না,
টেম্পোরারি
বডি
ফেজে হয়।
সিস্টেম প্রথম
না।
থেকে অ্যাভেলেবল হলে বডি সিস্টেম তো অ্যাডজাস্ট করে নেবে।
না না, সেটা এখন হবে না, আমাদের বডিতে তো কিছু জিনিস আমাদের খেতে হবে, কিছু জিনিস বার করে দিতে হবে, আমাদের সিস্টেমটাকে মুভ করাতে হবে থ্রু আউট দ্য অ্যালিমেন্টারি ক্যানাল, কাজেই ওইটা খাবেন না, প্রবলেম হয়ে যাবে। দিস মাই সিনসিয়ার সাজেশন টু ইউ। Now a lot many things are being now coming up. Now one of my senior friends, he has acquired 300 acres of land in Govardhana. He wanted to nurture the Veer cow, which is available in Rajasthan and this area, and they are normally they want to feed them fodder which will be organically made. There will be no injection, no chemicals, no chemicals will be used, and this milk will be costly, but this should be organic milk, because the Veer cow is a Indian origin, which is giving something around maximum 6 kg per day milk. Now some project is coming up in Govardhana. The gentleman who lives in abroad, he has acquired 300 acres of land. Recently he has come across through one of my students with me. I am just trying to, he wants my help also, so to develop it. Anyway, it is very early stage right now. Let's see how our university can get involved. So this is really good enough, because now the trend is there that everybody is nurturing for organic products. In fact, in my house also I started farming, but my health does not permit, because I got backache problems, spondylitis, so I cannot do it. But anyway, I'm trying to do it. So lot of flowers, lot of sabji I will start cultivating shortly. Now I'm making the land ready with gobar sar and these things. No chemicals will be used. But despite all this fact, it has to come up.
That is very nice. আমি শুধু এইটা চাইবো যে মিনিমাম ইউজ অফ ইনসেক্টিসাইডস, হার্বিসাইডস, ফাঙ্গিসাইডস,
that has to be
এইটা না হলে, কারণ এখন তো কোনো শাক সবজি ফ্রুটস কোনো কিছুতেই ফ্লেভারটা কিছু নেই।
স্যার আমি কালকে
ফুলকপি
একটা ইলিশ মাছ কিনেছি, আপনার 1800 টাকা করে কেজি, 1 কেজি 200, কোনো ফ্লেভার নেই,
না
কোনো ফ্লেভার নেই।
আমি বলছি যে ফুলকপি
আমাদের 7 দিন বাসনে গন্ধ থাকতো, নো টেস্ট। এর আগে একটা 2 কেজি 300
ফুলকপি কিনলে ফুলকপির একটা গন্ধ পাওয়া যেত।
না না, এখন আর কিছু।
আগেকার দিনে ফুলকপি কিনলে ফুলকপির একটা গন্ধ পাওয়া যেত, কোনো জিনিসেরই কোনো গন্ধ যে মানে স্বাদ সেটা নেই। তা সেই জন্যই ফুড ক্যাপসুলের কথা বলছিলাম। ইট ইজ নট লাইক দ্যাট যে কিন্তু এই
আপনি আরো দীর্ঘদিন বাঁচুন নরমাল খাবার খেয়ে।
প্রফেসর সেবক রায়কে আমি একটা জিনিস অনুরোধ করব।
বলুন স্যার।
বন্ধু 300 একর জমির উপরে এই ফার্মিংটা করছেন এবং অর্গানিক দুধ সবই বড় লোকদের জন্য হচ্ছে, গরিব
এইটা তো ঠিক
করার চেষ্টা করুন। ভারতবর্ষের গরিব মানুষের সংখ্যাই বেশি। হ্যাঁ, এখনো কৃষকদের হত্যা দিতে হয় গভর্নমেন্টের পাদতলে, কিভাবে তারা বাঁচবে?
এখনো ফ্রি চাল
যে মানুষের জন্য কিছু হোক, বড় লোকদের জন্য তো প্রচুর কিছু হওয়ার চেষ্টা হচ্ছে। মানুষের জন্য আপনি যখন আছেন, আপনি চেষ্টা করুন। আপনি তো দেখেছেন, দেশভাগ দেখেছেন, তো সবকিছুই দেখেছেন। মানে ঋত্বিকের ভাষায় বলতে গেলে যে আপনি তো নন, ইয়ারা মন্বন্তর দেখে নাই, দুর্ভিক্ষ দেখে নাই, আমরা নিরালম্ব বায়ুভুক, সামান্য আত্মহত্যা করিবার সাহসটুকু আমাদের নাই। তা তো আপনি তো উদ্বাস্তু। সুতরাং গরিব মানুষদের জন্য কিছু করার চেষ্টা করুন যখন আপনি আছেন। আমরা সব
অবশ্য পার্টিশনের পরে জন্মেছি, কিন্তু আই এম দ্য সাফারার, নো ডাউট। আমাদেরকে এক কাপড়ে যদিও আছে স্যার, সেটা হচ্ছে যে ওই মানে কোনোদিন জুটলো খাবার, কোনোদিন জুটলো না। অধিকাংশ পরিবারে, ফর্চুনেটলি আমার বাবা চাকরি করতেন বলে আমাদের